Hey everyone, it's TTL back with another video for you. Now, I know times are changing and it's getting kind of difficult to get hold of specific bits of hardware, namely graphics cards being the worst thing. And while we're on the subject of graphics cards, I'm only borrowing these. You do have to go back, so don't get funny about the fact that I do have three here, but I'll explain why I have three. So I've always liked personally a white build, and I think there's a lot that you can do with a white build to make it your own with the finest of changes to make it quite unique. But because of the market being the way it is at the moment, I've taken three white graphics cards, and these are based loosely on the reference design, but they're the white Gigabyte Vision versions, and I have a 3070 Ti, 3080, and then a 3080 Ti in there, and I've tested all of them. So then, depending on your budget and the availability, you have an idea of the sort of performance that you would get with a 5900X AMD board. Now, the other reason why I've done this is there are an awful lot of black graphics cards and not a lot of white ones. And if you wanted to go down that route, then you could take this as some inspiration to maybe paint the one that you're going to get, or even the one that you've already got. So stay tuned, because we've got some three graphics cards, side-by-side gaming performance, lots of other benchmarks, and a really good, nosy, inspirational look around the TTL White build. So yes, three graphics cards is a fairly lengthy way to go about it, because it means I've got to run everything three times, and it takes me about a day to do one lot of benchmarks for a graphics card. But I've done it because, like I said, based on your budget, but then also the availability. Now, you may not want or may not be able to get a white one, but don't forget, get brave, rattle cans. I should really do a guide on that for you moving forward, so that you can create something like this relatively easily. If I'm completely honest with the Vision cards anyway, I would personally get rid of the silver parts on them as it is. Now, I will say that you can go to the OC3D website and see all of the other benchmarks. We have done all of the game results in 1080p, 1440 and 4K. The gaming benchmarks that I'm going to show you today are all in 4K, but they are the three graphics cards all side by side. I do have graphs for the other resolutions for you, which will pop up, and you can see them on the website as well if you would like to peel them down and have a look. But 5000X case from Corsair. So I've changed all the fans, and I changed them all to the QLs in white, because they've got the double rings on them. So you get the rings around the in the middle and on the outside, but they're also mimicked on the back as well, which means when you look back at the case, or depending on which way that you put them, you get light both sides. So it doesn't matter whether they're push or pull, they look very similar each way round. Power supply in the bottom is a CX750F. Again, it's white, comes with white cables, isn't massively expensive. It is RGB, you can set it to what you want in the bottom. I've actually hidden it. And the reason why I've hidden it is I have a vertical graphics card. So it means you can't see the cables down underneath. Now, with a bit of plastic card, you could cover up the part in front of the power supply where the cables are. Now, I know some of you are thinking to yourself, vertical graphics card, PCI Express 4 graphics card, PCI Express 4 motherboard, it's not going to work. The riser cable is PCI Express 4 certified. I will put it at the top of the links underneath. Now, they are affiliate links. I don't do affiliate links for the financial side of it. I do affiliate links so that I can see those of you out there that click on them, and if you buy them, because then when manufacturers ask, I can tell them. That's literally my motivation for it. There's also some of the Pro Short Vengeance memory in there. Now, when I benched, I only used 2 sticks, and I'll be completely honest with you, it's because I forgot to fit the other 2 sticks, and then I couldn't be bothered to go back and fit the other ones, but I fitted all 4 for the light show. Now, it's all hanging off of the B550 Vision motherboard from Gigabyte, which kind of goes with the graphics cards, because it's got a lot of white accents on it, little bits of silver. It does all kind of link in. If you did want another project with this, I would paint the top of the heatsinks white at very least. You don't necessarily have to use white. You could use a, you can get like 3M vinyl, like sticker, and you could put that over the top, get a scalpel, cut around the outside, and then the top of the heatsink is white, and you've not had to disassemble anything. And then also, if it does come down to later on that you possibly have to RMA, or you want to sell it on to somebody else maybe, you can just peel those stickers off and you've not voided your warranty. So that's a nice easy tip. You can also do that with the front of your graphics card if you want as well. You could stick the sticker over the top, run your scalpel round, go really careful with the cuts, and you could easily get away with changing the front colour. At that point you could do it white, you could do it whatever colour that you want. Backplate, loads more involved. I think you would probably want to remove that backplate as well if you were going to do it properly. So this one, I would say, if you desperately, you're going to have it horizontal and you want to change the colour, I would say paint it. If you do paint it, key it up, sandpaper, make sure you use an etch primer, avoid acid etch unless you put normal primer over the top, and then your colour of choice over the top of that. I am whizzing past this, but these are all just little things to give you an idea on stuff that you can do. Corsair case, plastic card there. I'd actually like to put plastic card at the back of this front cutout. I left the front cutout in because I hate the big gap that they leave. Now normally you'd have a motherboard here, but I've kind of done it, and you kind of need the little bit at the back covering up so that you can't see your hand through. You can see my hand coming through there. Little bit of plastic card trimmed around there, that could all look rather nice. Now I have lit this up in white for other bits of B-roll, and we do have the white and the red on here now, the OC 3D colours. I would say that if you wanted to introduce colouring into this, cable extensions maybe, really small little things with the white would work really well. And you could then also get away with having small aspects of the lighting tied in with that same aspect colour. If you were to put lots of red in it and then make all of the lights red as well, the red parts that you add in will then just get bleached out. So my best advice to you is if you're just going to use coloured LEDs, then leave all of the components inside white or silver. But if you want to add, you keep the lighting white, looks nice in your room at night, that sort of thing, then that's the point when you could add in different colour memory, different colour vinyls on your graphics cards, on the heat sinks, cable colours, that sort of thing. That's when I would add an accent colour in, and then the white will make that accent colour pop that little bit more for you as well. So rather than you spending that time and money and then you can't really see it, the white actually works in your favour. So that's another two kind of really very separate things I think you could give a try to turn it into your own, because white is pretty much a blank canvas, and then you use either the lighting or the other small parts inside to make it unique for yourself. Now when we move on to the gameplay, 5900X, and like I said, you can see it all written at the top actually, because you've got the 3700, 3070 Ti, then the 3080, and then the most visible one at the front on the right hand side is the 3080 Ti. Now what we did do is, the first one that I'll show you is Cyberpunk. Now we've chosen these three games, but more specifically these three sections of these games because they were easily replicatable, and it actually gave me a way to try as best as I could to frame match so that you can see the difference between the two. So it kind of gives you a really good visual way. Now I could have moved the overlay into the middle so it was a bit better, but this actually saved me time with editing. So we've got Cyberpunk, then we move on to a section of Metro. This is, you do play it, but it's a cutscene, but the cutscene is very indicative of the game's performance. So it's another reason why I've showed you, but also because at the end of the day, it's easily replicatable for me to be able to plonk this in, give you guys an idea of the performance that you'll get with a 5950X and either of the three graphics cards, and I think that's actually a really nice thing. And then right at the end, with a big benchmark, is Watch Dogs. Again, Watch Dogs is great, loads of RTX stuff going on, so you're going to be able to get the benefits of DLSS and your ray tracing. but easily replicatable. It's actually quite fairly demanding as well. Well, they're all demanding because the Metro that I showed you before is the new Metro Advanced, so you can't even turn ray tracing off. Now, the other thing that I will say is, I don't know whether you've seen my video about MSRPs, but the MSRPs or the manufacturer price on these doesn't follow the kind of unrealistic NVIDIA one. So you're looking at about £1,400 for the 3080 Ti, you're looking at about $850 for the 3080, and then you're looking just over £500 for the 3070 Ti. Now, I have done a video on that. If I've not uploaded it yet, it is coming. But I won't bring that up anymore in this video. But the white TTL board, I'm going to be completely honest. I've done this because I've wanted to do a white build for a little while, and I spanned the 3 graphics cards in it in a way to kind of give you guys some options. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, we can't get graphics cards, and I understand that, but I'm basing this on a let's hope that you can. And if you can get one, then I've given you some numbers that you can expect in some of these games. I've done all the tests on the website for you to be able to go and have a look as well as the other resolutions, to kind of give you some a reference point to go to. But it's more about the let's build a pretty rig kind of together, because there was a time when I first got into PCs, there were things like Ares graphics cards and the Mars graphics cards, and there were loads of things that you kind of aspired to wanting, even going back as far as, let's say, the 8800 GTX from NVIDIA. They were massively expensive back then, or not expensive as the kind of they are at the moment, and I just couldn't afford them. I wanted them, but I had an 8800 GT. And even the 8800 GT, when that launched, I struggled to get one because they sold out so fast. It was very different to today's times, but they did just sell out really quickly. So I have seen similar stuff before, not quite the same as this, but I do get where you guys are coming from. And I know getting to borrow these things puts me in a very privileged position, but by me being able to borrow these, I'm kind of trying to help you guys into being able to see that sometimes there's not a massive amount between the 3. Now, out of the 3, I would say the sweet spot, price and performance-wise, is the 3080 still. I'm not massively a fan of the 3070 Ti at all, if I'm completely honest. I would much rather have a 3070 vanilla, but it's all going to come down to what you can get now, because I think you're going to see some of the normal ones kind of dwindling off. Now, the 3080 Ti is a cracking graphics card, and it obviously is pretty much a failed 3090. It's just got less VRAM on it, near enough the same sort of gaming performance, but the price is incredibly strong, and you've kind of got to really want to make that deep of a purchase. But it wouldn't look out of place in something like this, because with carefully selected components, put the light-ins and everything in there, this does look $1 million. And I would love to have this on my rig. I mean, I do have a white rig on my desk, but I would be happy, be ecstatic to sit beside this, render my videos on it, do my work on it. It's cool, calm, collected. I've not had to worry about it whatsoever. The AIO in the top, I really like the new white ones, if I'm completely honest. I'm so glad that they've made them mainstream. But anyway, lots of information for you, lots of chit chat. I'm hoping that you're going to see this in the way it was intended, in that it's kind of inspirational thing. Have a look at a nice build, get some ideas, take some small parts of what I've said away and use them for your rig at home, maybe the mods, or maybe try and mimic something like this. You might just want to build this exact rig in black. That's all cool. It's just time for us to get back to what we all enjoy doing, and that is watching and enjoying PC hardware. At least that's what I do. But, right, this is the tiniest one. I've waffled enough. Hopefully I've given you enough eye candy for you to have enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that lovely stuff. We're on all of the socials and everything as well. And I will put all of the links for all of the hardware underneath, should you want to go and find them. See you later on, guys. Love you, sis.